Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So 2024 was a year where we had a lot of focus on national elections. And next year, there will not be as many elections taking place, but still there are some very crucial governorship elections that are going to be taking place in Virginia, which is currently held by the Republicans, and the state of New Jersey. And 2026 will also have a majority of states have their governorships up for grabs. And these are very crucial because it does dictate state politics, which does have a big impact on people's lives and also a big impact on election laws in certain key states like Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Arizona, you name it, those swing states that will determine the outcome of the next election. So it's very important that we take a look into some of these elections and put them on the map and see if Republicans possibly could gain some governorships, because Democrats are kind of at their peak and they do have a lot of incumbent governors that are going to end up being term limited and will retire, and we are going to be filling this map out. I have already colored in the states that will not be up for grabs in 2025 and 2026. Those states are in these dark colors, meaning their elections will not be up until 2027. In the case of Kentucky, Mississippi, and Louisiana, Kentucky likely does flip then, or the remainder of these states, which will be up next in 2028. So we will be filling this map out. But first, I have to tell you guys about our latest sponsor over at Orion Metals. America, listen up. Are you tired of watching the government gamble with your hard-earned retirement savings? Inflation's out of control, the national debt keeps climbing, and foreign powers like BRICS and illegal immigration are pushing the US dollar weaker and pushing the cost of everyday goods higher. Here's the kicker, though. During Trump's first term, gold prices skyrocketed. They doubled in value. That's right, gold doubled. What if it happens again? Are your retirement savings ready to handle what's coming? This is why you need Orion Metal Exchange. They're America's highest rated precious metals IRA by Retirement Living, and they give you more metal for your money. Imagine converting your IRA or 401k into gold and silver, real physical wealth that you can count on no matter what. Don't wait until it's too late. Take control of your future today. Call Orion Metal Exchange now at 888-625-8775 and get your free investor's guide. It is packed with the information you need to protect your retirement savings. You've worked too hard to leave your future up to chance. Call 888-625-8775. Do it now. Orion Metal Exchange is here to help you secure your wealth and stand strong as a proud conservative American. Now back to the video. All right, guys, so we're going to start off by filling out the two states that are going to be up for grabs in 2025. We have the state of New Jersey and the state of Virginia. And New Jersey is very interesting because the state zoomed to the right in 2024, and Republicans possibly could end up picking it up this cycle. We don't know who the nominee is going to be yet in New Jersey. Jack Ciattarelli is currently the front runner, but you have a lot of other candidates that are challenging him from the right as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one goes. But Virginia likely will come down to Winsome Sears, the current lieutenant governor, and Abigail Spanberger, who is a deep stater through and through. She has deep pockets. I believe she probably is going to prevail. She probably is going to be able to spend her way to that governorship there. She will retake it. I do think Sears can put up a respectable fight, though, because the Youngkin administration is relatively popular. I think it's going to be within 5 points, but I do think it does stay in Democrat hands. Also, New Jersey, I think this one's going to be very close. Am I ready to say it's going to flip? I'm not entirely sure yet. I think it's going to be super close. I think it could be within 2 points. It is true Trump is in the White House. Republicans in these off-year elections still are struggling to get out their low propensity voter base, although they did a pretty good job in 2021 in both of these states, and it is true that there's less elections for them to focus on. I think the ground game will be good enough to make these states competitive. I do think Democrats probably end up prevailing, but you never know. It's still very, very early on, and then we get to 2026, and I think we could start off by just filling out the safe states here. I think South Dakota is going to be in the safe Republican column. I think Nebraska as well will be in the safe Republican column. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, those will all likely end up being in the safe Republican column when it is all said and done. I also think Florida is another example of a state that will. Iowa, probably you could make the case for Iowa. We don't know who the nominee is going to be yet in Ohio. Both of these states are going to be closer to 10 than safe states, but also we can't forget about Wyoming. We can't forget about the state of Idaho as well. But all of these states, including Vermont, because Phil Scott is like this unbeatable rhino up there, those should be in the safe Republican column. On top of that, we'll go to the Democrat side. I do think that California probably is going to be in the safe Democrat column. I think that Maryland also will be in the safe Democrat column. Wes Moore will win by more than 10. I think Massachusetts is another example of a state that will go Democrat by 10 points or more for sure. Hawaii probably as well. And I think that might be it. Or, I think that's probably going to end up being it for the safe states, because these are more elastic elections. Republicans in some of these states, they can field a different type of candidate that might be able to appeal to people statewide without, being saddled with like the federal brand of the Republicans that some of these like party line Democrat voters at the presidential level would just never vote for some of these people. So anyways, let's move to the likely Republican states. I think that Texas, we'll actually keep Texas in the likely or in the safe Republican column. I do believe that Abbott probably is going to win by more than 10. Alaska, though, off-year election, this one could get interesting, especially if Peltola runs, but I think that Republicans are going to end up holding it by more than 5 points when it's all said and done. Same thing with Kansas. If the lieutenant governor runs, that's a Democrat, maybe it'll be a little bit closer, but I do think Republicans are going to retake it. Kansas is still very much a red state. And then you have the state of Ohio, which I do believe that Republicans are going to win by more than 5. Same thing with New Hampshire. Kelly Ayotte will win re-election. She could even win that by a safe margin, for all we know, when it's all said and done. So the likely Republican states, I believe that's about it. I think that Joe Lombardo in Nevada, you could make a case, but we could save that one for the lean Republican states. But you know what? Never mind. He's an incumbent. I think he's going to probably win by more than 5. He's relatively popular. Then on the Democrat side, the Oregon governor's elections tend to be a little bit closer. That's true. Illinois, Pritzker's unpopular. The governorship elections there tend to be a lot closer. And I do believe that it's possible that if Republicans put up a decent candidate, that it could be under 10. I still think it stays in the Democrat column. Also, you have the state of Pennsylvania. Josh Shapiro, I think he's overrated. It is true that he has a decent favorable rating, although it's gone a little bit down as his name is being floated for a presidential contender, and the voter registration data in Pennsylvania does look good. If Republicans can put up a decent candidate, maybe one of the statewide candidates can run for governor if they'd be willing to stick their head out for that race, even though they probably end up losing. They could make it closer. It could help out Republicans down ballot significantly. Also, I think Rhode Island and Connecticut as well. We don't know what the end margins are going to be, but I think likely is a fine designation for right now. Same thing goes for the state of Maine. I think that could be between 5 and 10 percentage points there. So out of the gate, you have 26 for the Republicans, 16 for the Democrats. Let's fill the rest of this map out. We will be starting off with the state of New York. Believe it or not, New York is not a state that I think that Kathy Hochul is going to win in a cakewalk. It's possible she could even end up losing the state when it is all said and done. She's very unpopular, but New York is New York. New York is still very corrupt. They'll just find as many votes in NYC as they possibly can to carry her over, but I think it's going to be very, very close regardless. I'm not sure who the Republicans are going to put up. It might be a rhino like Mike Lawler, but he could make the state close though and force Democrats to divert resources. It's not the end of the world there. Then Georgia, I think Burt Jones would be a great candidate to run for this seat. He's somebody that is not like one of these Georgia rhino types. And if Kemp really does go for Senate and gets that Senate nomination, you're going to need somebody to balance that ticket. I think he'd go out there. Burt Jones could win by several points. Decent candidate overall. The state of Michigan, this one I would not have going Republican, but it is true that it is a three-way race most likely with Mike Duggan running as an independent. I'm not even going to say he doesn't have a shot, but with Democrats possibly putting up Pete Buttigieg, yeah, I think that you could see a Republican go out there and win 40-some% of the vote and end up winning the governor's race up in the state of Michigan. We'll see what happens. But Wisconsin, there are several Republicans that might go for it. I don't know if Evers is going to run for re-election yet. It doesn't really seem as if he's committed to it. But Tom Tiffany might run for it on the Republican side. Eric Hovde might run for it as well. Try to get some of like a revenge tour going so he can get in there, change the election system. Either way, I think that Wisconsin is a state that would probably in a Republican presidential midterm stay with the Democrats, but I do think it's going to be close. Also, we forgot to fill out Colorado. I think that you could put that one in the likely column, if not even the safe column, as things stand right now. Then you have the state of Minnesota. Tim Walz has lost a lot of popularity. It's really uncertain if he's going to go for another term. I think as of right now, you could put this one in the lean Democrat column. As things stand today, it's possible with Walz that it could actually be competitive because after that laughing stock of a vice presidential run, he's really tarnished his name. New Mexico, that one likely ends up being an open seat. I think lean Democrat is fine for where it starts off. And then we have Arizona. I don't know who the Republican nominee is going to be. Trump basically all but endorsed Karen Taylor Robson. Not really a big fan of her, not really a big fan of that endorsement, but the Republican bench in Arizona is pretty thin overall in terms of viable candidates, it seems, and she does have a lot of money. If she doesn't have to spend it in a primary, I think she probably beats Katie Hobbs because Katie Hobbs is extraordinarily unpopular and Republicans have a massive party registration edge. It's possible that if she doesn't get the nomination, somebody like Mark Lamb, who I would prefer, could go out there and end up winning that governor's race as well, because usually incumbent governors don't lose unless they are vastly unpopular. That's a key rule. That's why Kathy Hochul in New York faced a tougher challenge than Gretchen Whitmer did in Michigan. A lot of people don't like Whitmer, it's true, but it takes a really strong challenger to kind of beat an incumbent as well, and we kind of saw that happen in Nevada in the midterms. But either way, I do think that Republicans have a big opportunity here to pick off a couple governorships. Michigan is an open seat, Kansas is an open seat, and I do believe that Arizona will likely be the one that ends up flipping, and they're probably going to hold a lot of these other seats. As things stand today, a lot can change. We're 2 years out, but I thought I would make this video because we did the Senate map. Why not do the governor's map as well? So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.